are moments when the world feels loud, yet the soul longs for silence. We search for peace in success, comfort in possessions, and security in the things we can hold. Yet somehow, even after gaining everything we once desired, our hearts still whisper that something is missing. Perhaps what we are truly searching for is not another destination, but a person. Jesus never promised that life would be free from storms. He never said that every road would be smooth, or every prayer would be answered in the way we expected. Instead, he promised something far greater. He promised that we would never walk alone. Imagine the first light of dawn gently touching the hills. The earth awakens without hurry. The birds begin their song before anyone notices. The wind carries no fear. Every part of creation seems to know its creator. This quiet beauty reminds us that God is always working, even when we cannot see Him. There are seasons when our prayers seem to rise into silence. We ask for answers, yet heaven appears still. We wait for change, yet everything around us remains the same. In those moments, doubt quietly enters our hearts. We begin to wonder if God has forgotten us. But Jesus teaches us something different. Faith is not believing because we already see the answer. Faith is trusting because we know the one who holds tomorrow. Every sunrise is a reminder that darkness never has the final word. Every new morning declares that hope is stronger than despair. Every breath we take is another gift from the God who continues to write our story. Jesus often walked through quiet places. He climbed mountains to pray. He rested beside peaceful waters. He taught people in fields filled with flowers, beneath trees that gently swayed in the breeze, and along roads where ordinary people lived ordinary lives. He revealed that God's presence is not limited to magnificent temples or crowded cities. His presence can be found wherever a humble heart seeks Him. Perhaps today you feel tired. Maybe you have carried burdens that no one else can see. Perhaps you smile in front of others while quietly fighting battles within your own heart. Jesus sees every hidden tear. He knows every silent prayer. He understands every fear that you have never spoken aloud. Nothing about your life is invisible to Him. When Jesus looked at people, He did not see only their mistakes. He saw their potential. He saw broken hearts waiting to be healed. He saw fearful souls longing for peace. He saw ordinary men and women who could become instruments of extraordinary love. And He still sees us that way today. The world often tells us that our value depends on our success, our appearance, or the opinions of others. Jesus says something completely different. Your value was never determined by what you own. Your worth was never measured by your achievements. You are valuable because you are loved by God. Before you accomplished anything, before you proved yourself, before anyone applauded your efforts, God already loved you completely. This love does not disappear when we fail. It does not become weaker when we fall. Instead, it reaches toward us with open arms, inviting us to stand again. That is the heart of Jesus. Again and again throughout His life, He welcomed those whom society rejected. He spoke with compassion to the lonely. He comforted the grieving. He forgave those who believed they were beyond forgiveness. He reminded the fearful that peace is possible. He reminded the weak that God's strength is enough. The invitation of Jesus has never changed. Come as you are. You do not need perfect words. You do not need a perfect past. You do not need perfect face. You simply need a willing heart. Sometimes we believe we must first fix ourselves before approaching God. But healing begins the moment we come to Him. Just as a thirsty traveler does not clean himself before drinking from a spring, our souls are invited to receive God's grace exactly where we are. As Jesus walked through villages, mountains, forests, rivers, and open fields, every step reflected the quiet confidence of someone completely surrendered to the Father's will. He was never rushed, never anxious, never controlled by fear. He moved with peace because His same peace is offered to us, not because life becomes easier, not because problems disappear overnight, but because Jesus walks beside us through every valley and every mountain. His presence transforms fear into courage. His truth replaces confusion. His love heals wounds that time alone cannot mend. And as we continue this journey together, may we learn to slow down, to listen, and to discover that the greatest miracle is not simply seeing Jesus in beautiful places, but allowing his presence to transform the landscape of our own hearts. Transformation rarely happens in a single moment. More often it begins quietly, almost unnoticed, like the first rays of sunlight touching the earth before the world fully awakens. The kingdom of God grows in much the same way. It begins within the heart. In the small decisions we make each day to trust instead of fear, to forgive instead of holding resentment, to love instead of turning away. Jesus never rushed anyone. He walked at the pace of grace. When crowds gathered around him, he never overlooked the individual standing quietly at the edge. He noticed the lonely, the forgotten, the weary, and the broken. While others saw weakness, he saw someone worthy of compassion. While others saw failure, he saw a future filled with hope. That is the way God still looks at us today. There may be days when you feel invisible, when your efforts seem unnoticed, and your prayers appear unanswered. Yet heaven sees every act of kindness, every quiet sacrifice, every tear shed in faith, and every moment you choose goodness, even when no one else is watching. Nothing done with love is ever wasted. Sometimes we ask God to remove every obstacle from our path. Yet many of the strongest trees grow because they learn to stand against the wind. Rivers become beautiful because they continue flowing around every stone placed before them. In the same way, faith becomes stronger not when life is easy, but when we continue walking with God through uncertainty. Jesus did not avoid difficult roads. He walked through deserts where the sun was relentless. He crossed mountains where every step required strength. He entered villages filled with both joy and sorrow. He stood beside people celebrating new life and beside families mourning heartbreaking loss. Through every season, his heart remained anchored in the love of the Father. This reminds us that peace is not the absence of hardship. Peace is the presence of God in the middle of hardship. Many people spend their lives searching for certainty. They want every answer before taking the next step. Yet Jesus often invited his followers to walk first and understand later. Faith begins where complete understanding ends. There will always be questions we cannot answer. There will always be moments when God's timing feels different from our own. But the one who created the stars also knows the path before us. His vision reaches beyond today, beyond tomorrow, beyond every circumstance we currently face. When we place our future in his hands, we are not surrendering to uncertainty. We are surrendering to perfect wisdom. Think about the flowers growing quietly in a field. They do not struggle to become beautiful. They simply receive the sunlight, the rain, and the care that God provides. Think about the birds that greet every morning with joyful songs. They do not know what tomorrow will bring, yet they continue to sing. Jesus pointed to these simple wonders because creation itself teaches us to trust. If God faithfully cares for the smallest flower and the smallest bird, how much more does he care for you? Your life is not an accident. Your story is not forgotten. Your future is not hidden from God's love. Perhaps there are wounds in your heart that have remained for years. Maybe someone spoke words that still echo in your mind. Perhaps disappointment has quietly convinced you to expect less from life than God intended. Jesus speaks gently into those hidden places. He does not condemn the wounded, he restores them. He does not shame the weary, he invites them to rest. He does not abandon those who fall. He reaches out his hand and lifts them again. Forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts Jesus teaches us. Forgiveness does not pretend that pain never happened. It it does not excuse injustice. Instead, forgiveness breaks the chains that keep our own hearts imprisoned by bitterness. When we forgive, we do not become weaker, we become freer. Love works in the same quiet way. It often begins with simple actions, a gentle word, a patient response, a helping hand, a listening ear. A prayer offered for someone who may never know. These small acts may seem ordinary, yet heaven sees extraordinary beauty in every expression of genuine love. Jesus reminds us that even a cup of cold water given with compassion has eternal value. Nothing offered in love is insignificant. As we continue walking beside him through peaceful valleys, quiet forests, flowing rivers, and open fields bathed in golden light, we begin to realize that every landscape reflects something about its creator. The calm waters remind us of his peace. The mountains remind us of his strength. The sunrise reminds us of his faithfulness. The endless sky reminds us that his mercy has no limits. And slowly, almost without realizing it, our own hearts begin to change. Fear loses its grip, anger becomes gentler, hope grows stronger. Faith becomes deeper, not because we have become perfect, but because we have learned to keep our eyes on Jesus. Trusting that every step taken with him is leading us closer to the life he lovingly